We haven't done a pregame show in a little while. The 2-minute pregame. What is up, everyone? This is the pregame to the Dre's Geek Velocity. We are back to normal, so to speak. We're back in the secret podcast studios. I am alive after fighting the common cold. That is what the doctor told me last Monday. I had the common cold. It don't feel fucking common, but I'm back. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm among the living and breathing.
No longer contagious.
I am no longer contagious, so I can be here around you guys. My primary concern last week, I did not want to get either of you sick, especially you, Mr. Samzia, since you have a small, tiny baby who is very vulnerable to things. The wonderful Mojo Jojo. I did not want to get him potentially sick. Yes, show contributor Irv Daniwatampa has joined us. Yes, Dre lives. Dre is alive. I will randomly cough. I'm gonna have to keep my finger on the cough button. That way, the iTunes version will not have my crazy coughs, but the unfortunately the Facebook Live version and the Twitch version will have my when I unleash the unholy hell, which occasionally will come out of my throat.
I went to Indian food earlier today, so I'll be having my finger all over the fart button.
The fart button.
I will be ready to unleash holy hell.
Aha, I got the cough button that time.
There you go.
I am a professional. I am unprofessionally professional. So, that's good enough. Let's do the official start of the show.
Do the thing.
Let's do the thing. Let's do the official start of the show.
Fart.
Fart, fart, fart. Live from the secret podcast studios, somewhere in Los Angeles, this is Dre's Geek Philosophy. We are back. We are back in not black, well, black and blue and white in my knit shirt. We are back. We are back on the air after a little hiatus because of illness. I was on the injury report. Out. Parentheses. Common cold.
Common cold.
The enemy of anything where you have to use your voice. That was my enemy for the last couple weeks. Because literally, it was the day after we had recorded the show at Nostalgic Books and Comics. Literally, that following day, my body was like, guess what, Dre? You're ill. I am? No, I don't want to be ill. No. Yeah. And then I showed up like death warmed over to do the multiverse comic show. I was like, all right, I'm full of drugs. Let's do this. And then I think that Saturday night, that's when I discovered my Super Metroid cartridge had been in. Apparently, my illness infected my Super Metroid cartridge, and it got erased.
Oh.
So, but the silver lining of that is that my Saturday night show, Dre versus Super Nintendo, I have chosen to move on to Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Personally, one of my favorite games of all time. So tune in on Facebook Live, and actually, I broadcasted it on Twitch on Saturday night as well. I took the PlayStation camera, which we use here for Twitch. I pointed it at the TV that I have my Super Nintendo hooked up, and so it was kind of inverted. Nice. So anyone who watched it on Twitch, I felt a little bad for. But if anyone was watching on Facebook Live, it was perfectly normally oriented. Or Asian, if you prefer. I love doing that correction when it's unnecessary. It's quite amusing. So we're back, and today was a momentous day for a lot of people, for lovers of science, people who love science. Mm-hmm. There was a solar eclipse. Yeah. There was an eclipse,
and everybody was excited about that.
Literally. Everyone was excited. Yeah. Apparently, show contributor Keat Pham is insulted.
Why?
I don't know why he's insulted.
The eclipse insulted him.
Maybe the eclipse insulted him. Maybe I insulted him in some way, shape, or form right now. But another show contributor, Keat Pham, who apparently, as you were telling me in the pre-show, joined you for the midnight release of Batman Dark Knight Metal. Yeah. The Metal. and our friend Tabitha Sheehan on the show, apparently she could not see the eclipse because it rained in Vegas. A place that is normally 100 motherfucking degrees.
And sunny as all hell.
Sunny as all hell. You can normally see the sun, but apparently if you were in the vicinity of Lost Wages, you could not see the eclipse because it rained.
Wow.
in Las Vegas.
I saw the eclipse.
You saw the eclipse, executive producer Sam Zia. You saw the eclipse?
Yeah, I watched it on TV.
I looked at it on the internet.
Yeah, see, TV had all the best angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
I
you?
only had 86% cover, 68% coverage here, man.
No, I was driving
Oh,
around.
Orientalized. He was insulted by Orientalized.
That's funny. No, I was driving around when it was happening. And,
Oh yeah, the meetings that you were going to were that they were canceled.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know, like, I saw it on TV too, like afterwards.
Yeah, because everyone kept talking about, do not look at it, do not look at it, do not look at it. So I'm like, fuck that, I am not going to look up at all today. I would just,
Presidente looked at it.
yeah, our moronic leader was on camera staring at it. Moron. Good God.
But yeah, no, it was a big deal. People, is that gonna happen for another 75 years or something like that? Like,
No, there's gonna be another one in it's 7 years. No, 7 years or it's like 2024. I was doing the math. I'm gonna be like 45 when that one hits. So it's like 2024. There's gonna be another one. So people are already making plans.
oh, that's not that far away.
Yeah, it's not like that because this last one happened like right when I was born. The last one was like 37 years ago in a row. Oh, show contributor Irv Napatapa. He trusted his eyes behind someone's 7-Eleven or Amazon Eclipse glasses. Yeah, I you know what, I did not hear about these Eclipse glasses until literally this morning when I saw everybody wearing stuff that basically looked like 3D glasses, but they were darker to stare at the sun, which it could potentially be harmful to your eyes.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. I let the dogs out because it was a nice day out. You know, it wasn't too hot, so they can just chill out on the balcony and stuff. Maria says, "Let the dogs in." I'm like, "Why?"
They're gonna look at the sun.
Because apparently that's what they do. They are fixated by it, and they will stare at the sun and get eye damage. So I had to let my dog in, according to Maria.
This is why I can't have a pet. I cannot trust something that's dumber than me.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because I remember you telling me recently that you didn't know that taking the dog for a walk was taking.
Yeah, until Sam Zia got dogs, I had no idea that the quote-unquote taking a dog for a walk is taking a dog for a shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had no clue. I always thought, man, dogs really need a lot of fucking exercise. And then once Sam Zia got his first dog, and I realized, oh shit, you're just taking it outside taking shit all the damn time.
3 times
They
a
don't.
day.
They don't need exercise. They need a place to take a shit. This is why I can't have a pet. I did not know that.
Yeah. Get a hamster. Just
I can't even with a hamster. I mean, when I was a child, my first fish, Optimus Prime,
Nice.
he was the only.
That's awesome.
The second or third grade me named all of his fish after Transformers.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Second, third grade you was kind of badass.
Yeah, dude, I named them. I named them all after Transformers, and of course, the one I named Optimus Prime was the one that survived the longest. I was very bad at taking care of fish. Apparently, however old, I mean,
Yeah.
8 or 9-year-old me, poor with fish. And also, my mom likes to frequently remind me, I had a dog when I was little.
Oh.
I don't remember this. Apparently, the dog ran away.
That's what's happening with JoJo and Marley now, my bigger dog.
Yeah, is it running away?
Yeah, no, because JoJo grabs him by the ears and pulls him, and Marley's like, "I'll lick your face and run away real quick," but that's about it.
So, but your dog is not literally plotting his escape as if it was Alcatraz. Apparently,
Oh, no, he
that's
did.
the dog I had.
No, that's what he did. He escaped from a puppy mill. That Marley, yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about the dog's trying to escape from me.
Oh, yeah.
My dog escaped from my house and never came back.
Yeah.
He made the great escape, and it happened so young in my life. I had no clue we had a dog.
Oh, okay.
I was so little. I was probably like 3 years old or 4 years old, and apparently I had a dog.
The dog was like, "This kid is really loud."
Yeah, this child is loud and obnoxious. I don't like this loud child. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go somewhere in Monterey Park.
Oh. You're gonna insult.
Hey, I didn't say anything. I said nothing. I just implied something.
Like,
But but yesterday, if you were a consumer of media, yesterday was another great day because we had SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam. I had several of my friends. Show contributor Kiet Pham was one of the people who was over at my house. I had previous show guests, Lamar Harris and Jai Polidor were also there, and my brain is not working. And Someone who I should bring on the show, our friend J.C. Marquez. He is a crazy fellow. Actually, he was in Burbank earlier today. He's trying to be a voice actor. He's a school teacher by day, voice actor by night.
Have to do with anything.
I know.
Disney Animation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because you worked in Burbank.
I worked in Burbank, Disney Animation,
Okay.
somewhere near, in that direction.
What about your erection?
Something about my erection.
Misdirection.
Friends, our first new sponsor, let's talk about broken erections. How do you fix an erection? Well, you go to our new sponsor. Sorry, I'm trying to improvise that, but it just wasn't working. But
That sounds dangerous, man.
Yeah.
it's a thing that can happen. Don't look it up on the internet.
No.
But WWE SummerSlam, as I got myself sidetracked. I had several of my friends over yesterday. We were all watching it. We were enjoying ourselves. Actually, honestly, the show itself wasn't that great, but we make fun of the show. That's the reason why primarily the reason we all get together is to make fun of what we're watching and to delight ourselves. We were actually keeping track of points as each of us. Whenever someone made a very sarcastic comment or a very funny comment, the quorum of everyone else would decide, okay, that was funny. Points. It's kind of like at midnight.
Yeah.
We're pointing each other. And then our good friend, Lamar Harris, he was the winner of the night. He was on fire the entire night. Like early on, he won many points by declaring that the black wrestlers should have moves like reparations, the reparation leg drop, and then something involving MLK. And we're just like, We're not going to beat Lamar today. Lamar was on fire. And we had a professional stand-up comedian in the house as well. And he could not keep up with Lamar. The unprofessional stand-up comedian. He was working on that. I think he did. He was very unprofessional because he was saying really off-color things.
The BLM, the Black Leg Molotov.
Black leg Molotov. Oh, Jesus.
It's like a really bad leg drop.
Yeah, Kit Pham, show contributor. Kit Pham, he was in second place. He came close. We were making predictions about the matches later on. But speaking of things that were going on, Sam Zia, you got to watch the show later on. I believe you watched it today, or you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it this morning.
You watched it this morning,
Yeah.
and you made a very interesting observation that we saw. Like one of the wrestlers, like Naomi, she had very poor body language.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really bad in wrestling because, of course, professional wrestling is entertainment at the end of the day. It is predetermined. The athletics that go on during the match are not predetermined. Well, they are choreographed to an extent, but
They're not fake.
it's not fake. It's predetermined, but it's not quote unquote fake, as a lot of people like to say. But you made a very interesting observation during the pre-show today, where
Oh
like.
my God.
What, the fact that you made a pre observation, a very good observation in the pre-show? Do you need some tape there? Where one of the wrestlers, Naomi, when she came out, normally she has a very energetic entrance. Like she was a cheerleader before, so she has a very high energy. Her whole gimmick is feel the glow, and you noticed that she was not necessarily feeling the glow, so to speak.
No, she was. You could tell like
She was
a
off.
half step off when she
A professional dancer being half step off, that's a thing.
And then on top of that, once she got in the ring and she holds up her belt, she like looked like she was frowning. She looked like I am going to lose this. And then what did she do as soon as the match was over? She was on the mat crying.
She was on the mat crying.
She was emotional about it.
She allowed the belt or the fact that she was losing affect her performance, which a lot of other wrestlers, they try to stay professional. They try not to let on that it is predetermined. But she allowed the fact that she was going to go out there and lose affect her performance.
Yeah.
And that's not, in my opinion, that's not a good thing
Yeah, and if you go back and
for
watch it,
entertainment.
and I didn't have to rewind it. I spotted it immediately, and I was like, she's going to lose. You could tell immediately. I don't think it takes an expert body language reader to catch it.
So you mean with as we were watching it, when she came out with the belt that was glowing, I'm like, oh, she has a custom belt. Oh, she has to lose now.
Yeah.
Because every time a wrestler gets a customized belt, that means they're going to lose. Because like, oh, look, now I have something very important to lose. Look, this has been customized to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're so going to lose. When Stone Cold got his smoking skull belt, what happened immediately afterward? He lost. When
The only person that held on to it was $1 Million Man.
well,
He did
because that
lose
was his
it at
belt.
some point.
He did lose it to Virgil at some
Yeah,
point.
and also to Jake. It was in Jake the Snake's snake bag for a while.
Well, he took it.
Big
He
Boss
actually
Man-
didn't win it from him. He took it from him.
Yeah,
he stole it.
from him. Yeah, and Big Boss Man had to liberate it from the bag.
Good old Big Boss Man.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Ray Trailer. We actually discussed Big Boss Man a little bit yesterday. We're trying to explain. Oh, we had to explain to Lamar Harris one of the more racist gimmicks of the '80s.
Oh, God.
Because Lamar being a young man, Lamar being 10 years younger than us,
He doesn't remember when that.
he wasn't alive for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we had to tell Lamar, because we were talking about the Big Boss Man for whatever, because someone did a Boss Man slam, or it was the Black Hole Slam.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh man, back in our day, we used to call that the Boss Man Slam. And then me and Show Contributor Kid Fan, we started talking about Boss Man's tag team partner back in the late 80s.
Akeem the African Dream.
Akeem the African Dream. And so Lamar was like,
White guy, it was the one-man gang.
it was one-man gang. He went. So, large Southern wrestler. This guy is big, fat white guy. Mohawk. He looked a little bit like he would belong in the alt-right today.
No. He looked like, like he would be alt-right, but he looked like he just came from, like, the casting for the Warriors.
Yeah, for the Warriors. So he's a big guy. One-man gang. So some genius, well, actually, back then, the creative team was just Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So Vince McMahon got a wild hair up his ass where he decided that the one-man gang is going to go to Africa and find himself.
And find that he has African heritage.
African heritage. And so he would instead of coming out in his biker gear and his mohawk, no, he
came out
in a dashiki, I believe.
in a big old yellow and blue dashiki.
A yellow and blue dashiki, and started moving his arms out.
Oh.
Like, if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitch, you're going to see me doing the arm movements. If you're listening to this on podcast form, you're just going to have to look up Akeem the African Dream.
Yeah.
And see the whitest man alive coming out to, like, the manager, the doctor of style, Slick.
Slick, yeah.
Yeah, he had black manager, so that made it okay.
Made it all right.
to bust out my Vince McMahon, that made it okay because he has a doctor of style. He's a black man, validated him, so that makes it okay. It's not racist. It's the '80s.
And the funny part was that his tag team partner was Big Boss.
Big Boss Man from Cobb County, Georgia.
Who had the freaking Confederate flag patched
He
onto
did
his
have the Confederate flag. Oh, Jesus. Wow.
This was before he went, like, SWAT version of
Yeah,
Big Boss.
because those who watch the Attitude Era, they got to see Big Boss Man in his SWAT gear, all black, no Confederate flag.
No, back in the day, he was in the old school police blues.
Yep. Oh, it was OG music, man. He had one of the best theme songs of the '80s.
Yeah.
If you're ever down in Cobb County, Georgia, you better watch yourself or you're gonna do hard time. He carries a big stick, a ball and chain too. He's coming after you, do some hard time. Oh, man. Oh, memories. It's all coming back to me.
I get the feeling Coco Beware was very freaking aware of
I'm sure Coco Beware. I'm sure Bad News Allen or Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown.
I'm sure, I'm trying to think who were, Tony Atlas. I'm sure all the African-American wrestlers were very aware of where Big Boss Man was at all times.
Yeah, seriously.
The big old Ray Trailer. I don't know if he was a racist, but he was from Cobb County, Georgia.
From what I understand, yeah, he was from a very racist part of the country.
But he was
from what I understand, he's actually an okay.
He was a lovable fellow from what you hear. I mean, during his Hall of Fame induction, he was quite a jovial fellow. But he was from Cobb County, Georgia.
And he did have the stars and bars on his freaking sleeve.
Yeah, so I'm sure. But the best part, so back to our original point, because Dre loves tangents.
Yeah.
So we show Lamar a video of Akeem the African Dream.
Oh, hell no.
And,
I thought he already knew.
Oh, Lamar didn't know.
Oh,
so our friend
paid money to see this.
Oh God, his face was priceless. So Kiet pulls it up on his phone. Either Kiet or JC pulls it up on his phone, and we hand it to Lamar. And Lamar has the most priceless face as he is watching this. And he sees this giant white man dancing around a fire with a bunch of black people. Yeah, you go to YouTube, type in Akeem the African Dream, and enjoy, or be horrified. Your results may vary. And Lamar's face was I could not recreate his face.
Was it more shock, or was it amusement, or was it like
shock? No, it was primarily mostly shock. It was just like his mouth was agape, his eyes were wide open. He's like, he was like horrified, just horrified look on his face, and we were laughing our asses off because like he didn't know.
Yeah.
He's like, this was a thing? This was actually... I'm like, yeah, that was a thing.
Not just a thing, A long-standing.
A good couple years, he was a king. The Twin Towers. They beat up the Mega Powers.
That's right.
They won the
the
African Dream. Yeah, go Google that and enjoy yourself.
God forbid they didn't use Kamala for that.
Oh yeah, that would be someone else who would be very aware of where the Big Boss Man would be.
Who, by the way, has the most expensive action figure as far as wrestlers go.
Really?
Yeah. There's a rare one that has the moon on his belly or doesn't have the moon on his belly. Cough button. And
I actually got the cough button on that one.
and then, but whichever one that, I can't remember which one, but one of them is like worth thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. But yeah, SummerSlam, yeah, we were mostly kind of disappointed for most of the event, but the final match was very violent.
Which one was it?
That was Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. But man, that was we were losing our shit because Braun Strowman was throwing everyone around. He picked up and like dropped Brock Lesnar into a table twice, and we're like, holy shit! And I think my favorite part of the match because you just see like. You see Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe just fighting, and all of a sudden you just see a chair just show up and across and just fly into them, and we're like, "That was the thing that just happened. That was hilarious." He just hit him with a chair. He picked up one of the commentators' chairs and threw it at the two of them. They're like, "Oh shit!" They got taken out. But eventually, that match was very exciting for a good while because the big guy, Braun Strowman, this guy, the face of a baby but the body of a monster. He has a weird, like kind of like weird baby face. He's like, oh, I look like a giant baby, but he's a giant man, and he was like they call him the monster among men, and he was a fucking monster last night. He was throwing everyone around, but then unfortunately he did not factor in the finish. Mr. Brock. Maybe I shouldn't say anything because our good friend Joseph Gasparian, Target Joe, and it's funny because like before the match because like Brock Lesnar, he's known for throwing people around, doing lots of suplexes. So all of us we're playing this game with the points. Like, all right, how many suplexes is Brock going to do? And we're like, oh, all right, 13, 18. Like me, I'm like, fuck it, 37 in a row because I love the number 37 because of Clerks.
In a row?
In a row, and he only did like 3.
Oh.
He got because he got the shit kicked out of him through the whole match. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, that was SummerSlam. But you know what we did immediately as soon as SummerSlam was over. You know what we did? We fired up Game of Thrones because last night Game of Thrones we only have one more episode. There's only one more episode left, and then things were happening in the last couple weeks. I mean, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Dragons burning everything.
I saw that clip. Yeah.
You saw that clip of the dragon just like ripping through all those guys, whoa, turning them all into ashes with his dragon fire. No, last night there was some more shit. Okay, so those of you who watch Game of Thrones, and if you have not watched last night's episode, this is your spoiler alert.
There you go.
Turn the volume down, but don't click away. Please.
Don't click away. Please stay watching us. Or just if you're watching this later on demand, just kind of fast forward. If you're listening to this on iTunes, just go ahead. Fast forward a little bit till we stop talking about dragons. But last night, holy fuck, man! Because traditionally, see, Pete, you do not watch Game of Thrones. So on this show. The penultimate episode, the second to last episode, big shit always happens. Every season, some crazy thing happens. No matter what. That's kind of like the beat of the show. Yeah. The way the show progresses, some crazy shit happens. And then last night, we had the you can call it the Avengers, you can call it the A-Team, you can call it the Seven Samurai. We had a bunch of the characters who do not really have anything to do with it. All get together. They went beyond this giant ice wall. They wanted to capture one of the ice zombies because they need to prove, hey, we have bigger problems. There's a giant army of zombies coming to kill everyone. Yeah. So they go on beyond the wall, and of course they get trapped. And then the king of the zombies, the Night King, is that they're trapped. And then they send word. And then somehow, because TV show, they send word to the girl with the 3 dragons, help! Because a couple of things can kill these zombies. An obsidian stone, or as they call it on the show, dragon glass, or dragon fire. Dragon fire can do the job. So, using the world's fastest crows, or as I saw on Facebook earlier today, a crow with jets attached to it, they managed to get word to the other side of the continent, hey, please come save us. Yeah. Bring your dragons. Save us all. And then they're all trapped in this rock, and One of the characters is like everyone's favorite like bad guy. He did something stupid. He's like throwing rocks. He's antagonizing the zombies. And he pisses off the zombies because they all kind of had surrounded them, but the ice is thin here. We cannot go in there. So one of the characters is just throwing stones, like, oh, fuck you, cunts. He's throwing rocks, and then the rocks kind of land, and the ice doesn't break, and all the zombies are like, ice is good. Let's go. Oh shit! So they're surrounded. All appears to be lost, and then dragon fire comes in from the sky. Daenerys shows up with her 3 dragons. Fucking, if you've ever played an RPG, they fast traveled from the south end of the continent to the north end. They fast traveled. Would you like to go? Would you like to fast travel to the wall? Yes, I would like to fast travel. They show up and they're fucking, the dragons are they're doing their dragon thing. Yeah. Like dragons are supposed to. They're setting everything on fire. When you see the Night King, he's there, right? Okay, he just casually gets off one of his horses. Goes to one of his night knights. Night knights. How have we not thought of this sooner? One of his White Walkers, as they're called, gets a big giant ice spear.
What's race got to do with it?
I don't know. White Walkers. And then they're coming for the long night. George R.R. Martin is racist. So the Night King gets one of his ice spears, and he spears one of the fucking dragons. Apparently, this ice spear. Oh yeah, you just see all this blood from the dragon's like, oh shit, crashes into the ice, and it's like, this girl, the Queen of Dragons, these are her children. Yeah. As we learned earlier, she cannot. Her womb is bare. She cannot have normal children. So these 3 dragons are her babies, and she just watched one of her babies take a fucking ice spear, a magical ice spear that fucking killed the fucking dragon.
Oh damn!
You see this, the dragon just went down. And the other 2 dragons are like, what the fuck? And then she's like, what the flying fuck? And as she's rescuing these 7 samurai, so to speak. Damn, I didn't reach the cough button. I'm too busy going away from the microphone. And they're escaping. And then the Night King's like, give me another spear.
Oh, fuck.
He misses, but then they manage to escape, and she's fucking just emotional. She just lost one of her fucking babies. Yeah. They fucking escape. One of the main characters, he fucking shows his plot armor. He's like the fucking Goku of this show. He will not die. No matter what they do, he will not die. Like, he sacrificed himself so they can get away. And then he somehow survives because his long-dead uncle just appears out of nowhere. I will save you! His dad, who's also a White Walker, racist, saves him, sends him on his horse, and then his uncle dies. And end of the episode, all the zombies are at that lake. You see there was these giant chains. They're pulling the dead dragon out. Oh, and the Night King just goes, raises his fucking hand.
Shit.
And all the Yu-Gi-Oh kids lost their goddamn minds because then we have a blue-eyes white dragon now. Which I don't know if you saw. I'm sure you look at your Facebook. You don't watch Game of Thrones, so I'm sure your Facebook feed is filled with all kinds of ridiculous things. So I'm sure if you saw a blue zombie-looking thing with a Yu-Gi-Oh thing on his arm, that's why. Because he because that's what this Night King does. He takes dead things and resurrects them, and they become White Walkers. And so now he has an undead ice dragon. And that's why all your friends were losing their shit on the internet last night.
Oh, man.
It was some heavy fucking shit, man. It's heavy shit. It's fucking with everyone's emotions. And then there's only one more episode next Sunday, and then we have to wait like 2 years for the final season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Or like a year and a half. It's like not until like 2019.
Fuck.
Right? I have learned from all my friends who read the books, it requires patience to be a Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah, apparently.
You have to be a patient person. You have to be patient. You know what you don't have to be patient for? These Netflix shows.
Good segue.
I'm a professional. We've been doing this for 8 months, man. I know what I'm doing here.
Silky smooth.
I am silky smooth transition.
There you go.
Because you don't have to wait very long. All these Netflix shows, they come at you 3 months. Boom, boom, boom. One after the other.
Yeah.
So.
The whole thing.
No, the whole thing. Just one big salty Marvel load just shot all over you. Out of nowhere. A delicious, salty, 4-flavor load.
4-flavor, there you go.
You get the full 4 flavors of Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
I think Iron Fist and Aquaman need to have a love child and call it Iron Fish.
Hey man, don't talk shit about Aquaman. Aquaman's gonna be cool soon because of fucking Khal fucking Drogo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or what? I always forget what his actual name is. Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
He's gonna make Aquaman into a badass. That's his mission in life.
That's his job.
I know, like Jeff Johns, the writer, tried to do that in the comic book, but now we have fucking badass fucking Aquaman coming.
Yeah.
In a not so great movie, but hey, Defender. So I have not watched it because I'm still behind. I'm still on Daredevil season 2, so I still have to watch the rest of Daredevil.
Yeah.
I still got to watch Luke Cage.
I can't believe you haven't watched Luke Cage.
I know. I can't believe I haven't watched Luke Cage. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
He's basically Black Dynamite, but with an actual.
I know.
He doesn't without the mustache.
Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Dynamite. But Pete,
Yeah.
I presume, being the good, diligent
Yeah.
comic book watching person you are, you've watched the 8 episodes?
I burned through it so quick.
You set it on fire.
I did.
You binged it as it is intended.
A lot of people were watching it as of midnight when it dropped.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot. Many of my friends were like eagerly anticipating. Like at 11:45, like 15 more minutes, I get to watch Defenders.
I passed out that night.
You try.
But I woke up. I woke up about 2 hours early, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch the first one," and then like
6 episodes later.
no, yeah. I was like 2 or 3. I was about to start episode 3, and I was like, I need to go to work, right?
Yeah, you are your own boss.
Yeah.
You are your own only employee.
Yeah. So my initial plan was, all right, I watched 2 of them. I'll watch the rest tonight. No, I didn't. I watched the rest at the store.
Of course you did, because who's gonna yell at you? You?
There
You're
was
self-employed, sir.
There was actually people like walking in. They're like, "Oh, I'm not on this one yet." And I'm like, "All right,
Yeah,
pause it." Like,
you have to pause it. You're like, oh, sorry, I don't want to lose your business
Yeah.
by spoiling the Defenders. Like, oh crap.
yeah. So
So what did you think?
it's really good.
It's really good.
It's really
I've
good.
seen varying opinions.
Yeah.
Some of my super hypercritical nerd friends have been kind of like meh about it, and some other people have enjoyed it very
I mean,
much.
You know what? It's the craziest thing because I'm actually surprised. I've read a lot of reviews on it, and I'm surprised no one has gone with this angle. Because the first thing I noticed.
Okay, give us your angle.
Is that when you watch the opening, you realize there's like a shitload of producers on this one. They basically took all the showrunners from all those shows and they made them producers on this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was essentially like, so like just like the characters coming together, they actually brought like, oh, this is their take on
So really, these 8 episodes, it's an amalgam of all the showrunners.
yeah.
So
That can just
even the bad showrunners of Iron Fist.
See, yeah. I'll tell you about that right now. But yeah, and it was actually like, and you know what? They took, like when you look
I realize I keep hitting the cough button on the wrong button because this microphone is the other cough button over there, so it hasn't mattered. Go on.
See how like when you look at something like Avengers, and like especially the first one, like yeah, there was still like the same characters more or less, but they focus on everybody. In Defenders, they really focus on everybody. Everyone had their own individual story, and they took their time with it. Like it's only 8 episodes,
Right?
but and no spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but like they didn't become a team till like episode 3.
Oh,
So
okay.
They took their time with it. Like
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like magically like, hey, we're all superpowered and we're friends.
Yeah.
Let's all go be awesome together. Yeah.
And they actually had them like meet in like kind of a semi-realistic way. We were just like, oh, that makes sense. Like like they didn't just kind of like run into each other. And just, yeah.
Well, like in the old 70s comic books.
Yeah.
Like back when Stan Lee used to write this stuff. Like, oh,
And they would just meet and fight, and then be like, "Oh wait, no, you're a good guy too." Like
you're a good guy too, but I want to punch you in the face regardless. I do enjoy punching random people in the face.
I mean, there was a
Are you a Nazi?
yeah. There was a little bit of that. I mean, like you saw in the trailer where Iron Fist punches Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Knocks out one of his teeth, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it appears he knocks out like unbreakable. Let's see, bah.
But I think that was one of the big highlights of it was the interaction between Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Like it's just like, oh, I want to see that show now. there has to be a Ghost Rider show.
Like they have to. No, I mean, that's what I'm kind of hoping is like it was the result of this. That like they build that kind of weird dynamic between Luke Cage and Iron Fist and kind of redeem Iron Fist through the awesomeness of Luke Cage.
I mean, he was still kind of whiny in this show.
So you're saying he's still a bitch?
A little bit.
Did you watch all Defenders? Hey, Samzia, did you watch all Defenders or?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
And honestly, you get the whiny bitch part in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, it picks up like literally right where
Iron Fist ended. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it picks up like right there. And you're just like, oh, cool.
So now I really feel like I need to get in there and.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing too is that,
show contributor Kia Fam. He hates standing around and he is still a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you're not wrong. You are not alone in this, Mr. Kia Fam.
I mean, and there's some cool stuff that comes out of it, but it's very Iron Fist heavy. Like it's very like he's the key to a lot of stuff. And,
In Defenders?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But it's pretty cool though. Like
maybe they're trying to redeem the
maybe
how it was the not good Marvel Netflix show.
Well, the whole thing too is that I mean, I feel like this was probably already in the works before like those reviews started coming in.
So it was already because it does dovetail from that. So
yeah. But did you hear like the guy who did Iron Fist is the guy who's behind Inhumans?
Well, that does not portend well for humans. that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But no, it's really good. It sets up some stuff. They pick up everything. Like they don't waste anything from the other shows.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
like you said, it's very condensed because it's a very thick 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's like every episode's important. Like something happens in every episode.
And then I was reading that there's not going to be a season 2 of Defenders.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
This is just a one-off. Like, I mean, and then just by you telling us how it was constructed, it was literally all four show running teams coming together and doing it. That does not sound like something that people probably want to get together and do again.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like that the comic book 52 where they had like 7 writers all kind of working together.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were saying that like like why was it only 8 episodes? I'm assuming this one was probably more expensive than like a Daredevil season.
Oh yeah,
or just a standard show,
Because you had all the stars.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're not going to take pay cuts.
And they brought everybody in. Like they brought in like the guests. Like Foggy was there, and
so like literally the entire cast of like everything, everyone who was a peripheral character.
Essentially, yeah, like everyone showed up.
I know Patsy Walker from from Jessica Jones.
She's in it.
Was the Kingpin involved in any way?
No, he didn't come out. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Okay, so that was
That's one of my favorite villains of all time.
He was a well-constructed villain.
Yeah, I hope that they would have something in the
Well, maybe Daredevil season 3. I don't know, or maybe Punisher season 1 because that's.
Oh, they see the
I heard about the preview. I haven't watched it yet.
They dropped the trailer for that too, and I guess we're getting that this year too. It's like
jeez, see, they said opposite of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so it's like in November.
You're getting all the content just thrown at you. Like I can't even keep up.
Yeah, you're a little behind there.
I'm too lazy. I've gotten too lazy. I can't even keep up with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be behind four shows now when Punisher hits.
Yeah, that's coming up. It's coming up.
Good Lord.
And so it was really good. It was really good. We're going back to like the storyline going to Daredevil. Like it's all about the hand. It's all about.
I know the old Asian lady from the
And she's a big bad guy in this one.
Mm-hmm. And then Sigourney Weaver. She's a big bad as well, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what it reminded me of a lot? Like remember what was it called? Seven Soldiers. The Grant Morrison book. Well, basically that's what it was. I mean, like they don't become a team until episode 3, but essentially they're all dealing with the same thing and they don't know it.
They all have the same problems and they realize, oh, your problem is my problem.
Yeah.
Hey, your problem is my problem too.
They don't realize they're all like dealing with the same villain, and and that's when they figure that out. Everything,
And where it all makes sense. They sit around, they have some Chinese food, and they figure it out.
Shawarma, actually.
Do they have shawarma? No. That's the Avengers thing. Remember, they are they exist in the same universe, but they're in separate bubbles.
Yeah, they don't interact.
There's no intermingling. They don't cross the streams.
What shawarma doesn't intermingle the universes?
No, the Avengers eat shawarma, and the Defenders eat Chinese food.
Yeah. I love that there was a meme floating around. It was saying that it had the picture of the Defenders, and it said like, "Oh, the only people that can protect Manhattan." And then in the bottom you had Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck? Like,
what the fuck, man? Queens is right by Manhattan.
Yeah.
What the fuck? He can swing through.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
they're saying that this is like the next stage now. Like, it was our phase 2 of the Netflix shows, so we might get different stuff. Like, there's been a rumored Moon Knight thing for a while.
Really, Moon Knight. I wonder if they'll bring on Warren Ellis.
That'd be crazy. I mean,
His Castlevania show on Netflix did very well. From what I hear, there's going to be more Castlevania. So hey, that's one of my favorite writers. He's a crazy madman.
he's a crazy man.
Where like he frequently puts his proof of life on Instagram to let people know that he's alive.
He's still alive.
He's old and he's still alive. But let's get. I want to talk about why I haven't watched The Defenders.
There you
I
go.
I want to explain why I have not watched The Defenders. So obviously I was out for about a week. I couldn't even go to my day job.
Oh wow.
I was out. I sat at home for like all week last week.
Oh wow.
And my dumbass got wrapped up in watching old episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh man.
You know what? No, that show is fucking awesome.
It is.
I did not realize, young me did not know what he had in front of him when he was watching The Next Generation back then. I used to just watch, oh, cool, Borg, oh, Fenger assholes, oh, and like I said, freaking, my favorites as a kid were freaking Geordi and Data. Those were my favorites as a kid, the fucking nerd characters. Fucking the dude from Engineering and the android. Those were my favorites as a kid. And it's funny, I knew when I was a kid that Deanna Troi, she was pretty, but now as I'm older, I think Dr. Crusher's hot. My God, my heart is with Dr. Crusher now. Older, mature me is like, oh, hot damn. But yeah, actually, the reason why I got wrapped up is because there was as I was telling you when we were driving over, there's an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where they actually travel back in time. And they have to go to the original series. They have to encounter the original Enterprise with Captain Kirk. Time travel is it's much easier in Star Trek than any of the other sci-fi things.
Just a slingshot around the sun.
Yeah. Slingshot around. Hey man, it's even easier now apparently in freaking the Deep Space Nine or Voyager eras. They can just travel through time just by hitting the right speed now.
Oh, nice.
They don't even need a slingshot around the sun anymore like in Star Trek 4. Because someone had posted a video about they're comparing the original scenes and they're like, oh man, that's a really good episode. So I went on Netflix and I actually had that episode almost like just queued up because I'd watched it a couple of years ago. And, oh, there it was. I'm around an episode again, and I rewatched that episode. And damn, that was a good ass episode. That was so like the way they kind of intermingled these current characters into that. They had to like dress up in the OG gear as they were searching for this guy who had traveled through time. This guy who had made them travel backwards through time.
Khan?
Not Khan.
Oh.
Shockingly, no. And of course, they showed up during the one of the more famous original episodes, where it was the tribbles, those little furry things. That then apparently they multiply. They're born pregnant. As one of the characters, are these things born pregnant? What the hell?
Well, that is the trouble with tribbles.
That is the trouble with tribbles. That like each one can make 10 more, and each of those 10 can make 10 more, and so on and so forth.
They're
So
like freaking gremlins.
they are much worse than gremlins. They'll just eat you out of house and home and everything. And I rewatched the episode and I saw Worf and I'm like, oh yeah, good old Worf. Klingons. Klingons are hilarious.
Did you know James Worthy played a Klingon once?
No way!
In Next Generation, there's an episode where James Worthy is a Klingon.
I wonder if I've seen that episode, or maybe that one's later on. Because right now I'm like partially through season 4 right now, so maybe I've already missed it, but I'm gonna have to double check. Yeah, because that's another thing too. Like, I've been documenting when I see famous people.
Oh yeah.
I saw Oswald from the Drew Carey Show. He was at Worf's Post for a couple of episodes. I saw, if you ever watched 24, Agent Pierce, the Secret Service agent that was always like very prominent through most of the seasons, he was manning the security thing. And I think season 1, Terry Hatcher, she's in there. She's a freaking like a female officer. Who else? I saw the kid, the one annoying bitchy kid from the Mighty Ducks. Freaking Adam Banks. The one who's forced to become a duck.
Yeah.
He was as a kid. He was on the show, and I'm like, hey, it's the kid from Mighty Ducks. What the hell? Yeah, like you notice all these little things. I saw Dr. Kelso from Scrubs. He would play the crazy doctor. not too much of a stretch for him.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I see.
I bet you they like created his character after watching him on the
No, this was way before Scrubs.
No, that's what I'm saying. They created.
No, they created the character on Scrubs after seeing him on.
After seeing his
Well, he
role.
played a sociopathic fucking doctor. I'm sure you can do that for an entire series in this silly Scrubs show.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped. I'm eagerly awaiting to see Tom Morello for Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a big Star Trek fan, and he got himself on. He actually has a couple of lines. I don't know if it was on Voyager or it's one of the other shows. It was either Deep Space Nine or Voyager. Because remember, I looked up. I'm like, oh, notable, like famous people you didn't know were on Star Trek. Yeah, a fucking Iggy Pop.
Oh yeah, dude. Ron Jeremy was in it. Oh wait, no, that was Deep Throat 9.
No, you jackass. No,
Da-da-da-da-da.
no, but Iggy Pop, he actually had a bunch of lines. He actually had a big speaking role. He was like the bad guy of an episode.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I saw that video. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Iggy Pop. He was fucking.
That's funny.
Holy shit. I was like, that's fucking cool. But, so I spent the whole week just watching episodes of Star Trek Next Generation and realizing some of the fucking brilliant fucking writing. It was really good. Like, I didn't realize how much of a jerk Captain Picard really is. I mean, he's a real asshole. He's a hard ass. I mean, he's a good-hearted hard ass, but he's a hard ass. He said "shut up, Wesley" no less than a dozen times the first season. There's a reason why there's montages of that shit. Why he has all these great facial expressions, which makes him an amazing meme. Like the hand on the. I've seen all those memes happen already. I've seen all the memes. His hand on the forehead, the why, the win, and of course, sexy Picard.
Yeah.
Because see that was an episode where Captain Picard was forced to go on vacation. Apparently he worked way too hard, and the ship's captain, Dr. Crusher, she's like, "I'm sorry, Jean-Luc, you're gonna have to take a vacation." And of course, naturally, he went on vacation, and an adventure happens. Random woman kisses him. Turns out she's running away from a Ferengi dude. She's searching for treasure. And like these time travelers are like, "You, Picard, you will find the treasure." And I'm like, "I'm on vacation, you assholes. I'm just trying to read Shakespeare."
That's the plot to one of the Terry Tate videos, just so you know.
What? Terry Tate?
You remember Office Linebacker?
Oh,
They
good God.
forced him to go on vacation, and he had to fix up everything at the vacation place.
I totally forgot about Terry Tate, Office Linebacker.
Dude, he's a legend.
I had forgotten about that.
See if maybe he was a Klingon.
I bet he was a Klingon. Holy shit. You're telling me James Worthy was a fucking Klingon. Fucking A. And another great episode was one I was telling you about it on the way over here, where you meet Worf's adopted parents. Because Worf is the Klingon on the show. He was like, oh shit, a Klingon in Starfleet. You know, back in 1989, this is fucking unheard of. Like, holy shit, a Klingon on a Federation ship. What the hell? So he was raised by humans. Apparently, you know, his parents died, and then he got shipped off to Earth for whatever reason by Starfleet. And you find out Commander Worf's parents are a couple of Russians, and it's fucking hilarious. And like his parents are funny. They're not like 80s Russian funny, like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." No, they weren't like Yankov Smirnov fucking or
Hancock.
or Bronson Pinchot, like, "Oh, what a country." They weren't that kind of Russian. They were funny Russian. Like the dad apparently was in Starfleet. He's like, "I have all the charts. I love Galaxy class ships. Please give me the whole tour." And the mom was like, "I don't know what." I tried to make him, you know, his Klingon food. I don't know what a blood pie is, but I made him blood pie.
Your Russian sounds Hindu.
I know. I'm the worst. The only person who has worse impressions than me is you.
Aw.
Ginger my balls. Hey, Russia and yeah, they're next to each other.
Are like people who are big fans of his called gender maholics?
You're fired. You're so fired.
Hey, it's an addiction.
You're fired. Gender maholics. God damn it. Blood pie, yes, Calum, a.k.a. Bushy, there's some sort of Klingon blood pie that his Russian mom would make for him. It was awesome. It was funny little stories where, like, a lot of the stories from Next Generation really got me right in the heart. It's like, I kept getting excited because, like, the episodes I loved when I was a kid is whenever they'd fight. You know, they'd fight the Borg, or they'd fight the Ferengi, or fight the Romulans. I'm like, yeah! No, fight! But now, I'm an old man now. And I appreciate all the little ones. All the little stuff, like the episode right after they fight the Borg, after, Captain Picard, he's assimilated into the Borg. He becomes one of these, friggin' murder robot zombies, which is basically what they are.
Yeah.
They are murder robot zombies. And so he gets assimilated, but then they bring him back, and he's like, the strong will of Captain Picard. He refused to become Locutus of Borg. And again, he's forced to go on vacation. Because that's a plot point. Let's make Picard go on vacation. He doesn't like being on vacation. He's a workaholic. And so he has to go home. They're near Earth because the Borg almost got to Earth. So he goes home to France, visits his brother, and his brother's a giant asshole. He's an even bigger asshole. He makes Picard look like a nice guy in comparison. It was a pretty hilarious episode. They get into a fight. They're like slapping each other around, and they're punching each other, and they're rolling in the mud, and then they start laughing about it. French people. They're insane.
Yeah.
So, this sojourn through Star Trek: The Next Generation, I have been enjoying it. If you follow me on Instagram at SoCalClone, you'll see I've been drawing all the crew members. I'm currently working on Worf. His costume is a pain in the ass because he has that metal chain link sash, and that thing's a pain in the ass to fucking draw. My God, I would have been done with it by now if it wasn't for that damn sash. But I have been binge watching it. I have forsaken everything else. I have forsaken everything. With the exception of watching SummerSlam yesterday, I have forsaken everything to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm most of the way through season 4. I'm going to get all the way through season 7. I'm going to push through all that because I want to make sure I get to all before they take off Netflix again.
Well, definitely do that, but please hurry up and get to the Marvel stuff.
I want to, but
you're lagging here. I mean, if I'm ahead of you on shit like
well, everyone's ahead of me on the Netflix stuff right now.
Exactly. This is a
honestly
shame.
like the Deadpool season, not Deadpool, Deadpool. You see?
Tragedy. That's what this is.
It's a tragedy that I'm not watching it. Yeah, Daredevil season 2 didn't really grab me, like because the Deadpool.
Getting good at this.
Daredevil season 1. Now I remember I did it all in a day. Yeah. I destroyed Daredevil season 1. I knocked that all in one day. Yeah. And then Jessica Jones, I did that over the course of 2 days. But for whatever reason, Daredevil season 2, I'm like, meh.
What episode are you left off on right now?
Like 3?
Okay, then just read what happens and then get to Luke Cage.
I do want to get to Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage came out like in September. It's almost been a year.
Yeah, just go back. Read up a synopsis on the rest of Daredevil and get on with it.
Oh, yeah, you haven't gotten to Elektra then.
No, I haven't even gotten to Elektra.
Yeah, it gets pretty good.
Then okay, so after I push through some more Star Trek: Next Generation, maybe I'll mix in some Daredevil episodes. I'll work my way through that because I know once I finish Next Generation, I might go into Deep Space Nine because heaven knows I might do that. I'm like I need my fix. Give me my drugs. Give me more.
Shit, if you want, you can even just skip Daredevil and go straight to Luke Cage.
I kind of want to watch Daredevil.
I want you to. I don't want anything holding you back from Luke Cage because I want to get your perspective on it.
Luke Cage, I know because that's supposed to be one of the really good ones.
Yeah. It's solid, and it's solid, but it's also you're gonna get moments.
It's Black Dynamite.
Like, this is Black Dynamite.
The showrunner is like they made Black Dynamite, but with Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And you know, I like yourself, my friend. I love Black Dynamite. Dynamite. Hell yeah. So that's what's been going on in the world of Dre. We got so Wednesday night we're gonna. Are we still gonna attempt to do the multiverse comic show? I know you were busy last week with the Dark Knight. So how did that go with the Dark Knight Metal? Dark Knight Metal.
It was interesting, man. Like I tell you,
did Tenacious D show up and talk about the metal?
They should have, right?
Did anyone try to defy the metal?
Maybe a little bit. It's always trippy with just midnight releases because like I always in the back of my head it's like no one's gonna come to this. It's Tuesday night.
And then you forget these are comic book nerds we're dealing with. And if they could buy it at midnight, they'll do it.
They'll do it, yeah.
And a whole bunch of people showed up.
A whole bunch of people showed up.
Did you have a line of nerds?
I did, and they were like angry because we were open earlier, and I was like, nope, can't stop till midnight. Like that's the rule.
That's the rule. Could be one of you could be a diamond mole who's gonna rat us out and tell everybody, oh, that store sold it early. Fuck them. Fuck them and their stupid asses.
And I went a little crazy in this one. I ordered more than I normally do.
Really?
Because, I don't know. I thought it was exciting.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo coming back together. And then we have the minute, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. And yeah, it sold like crazy, man.
Are you out of it?
No, I have like a handful of them left, but I ordered a lot.
Because big stuff happened.
Yeah.
You were texting me about it.
Yeah.
You sent me pictures of crazy shit that was happening in that book.
Big stuff happens, man. It's interesting.
The return of Hawkman.
Yeah.
And Hawkwoman.
Yeah. And I don't know.
And apparently anyone who's Hawk related they're all intermingled now.
Oh, yeah.
The Black Hawks.
Blackhawks, yeah.
They're intermingled with the Hawkmen and the
You
Hawkwomen.
need to say that a little slower.
Black Hawks.
Yes.
The Black Hawks.
The Black Hawks.
Do you have an obsession with the BBC?
I do not. Actually. Thank you very much. I just heard
Did I just ruin Doctor Who for you? Not really. BBC America.
Oh.
You're welcome. And that's like I was explaining to someone else about the sexually oblivious female meme. BBC? I love Doctor Who.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Hey, that's what happens. Yeah, Hawkman. Oh, yeah, Calum on Facebook Live. I thought they were immortal, Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah.
Technically, their souls are kind of.
Yeah, no, that was the thing, though, right? They keep getting reborn.
They keep getting reborn. They're stuck together, just like on the TV show.
Yeah.
The TV show takes the most basic concepts of the comic book and
just runs with it.
runs with it. Fuck it. They're immortal. They're star-crossed lovers.
So it's like Hancock.
Yeah.
No, but they were immortal, right? They didn't die, right?
Who? Hancock. Yeah. No, but if they're near each other, they could
power,
die.
Yeah, their power.
If they were near each other, they could die.
Yeah.
So he had Hancock had run away from Charlize Theron.
You know who wrote that movie?
Whom?
What's his
You're gonna
name?
blow me away.
Yeah, Vince Gillian.
Whoa! Breaking Bad. Vince Gilligan wrote Hancock.
He was one of the writers.
Okay.
I think he got a script and he fixed it up a little bit.
He did a little script doctoring.
Yeah, I don't think he's the only writor, but he is one of the writers on that movie.
The original writer made it about masturbation. They thought this was going to be a lot.
Handcock. Not Hancock. Handcock.
The reason I know that is because
Where Will Smith would just be fapping to Charlize Theron. I mean, I'm sure people would watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Well, 6 Degrees of Separation gave us that kind of view of what I was. That was the initial plan, was to get one where he just, But yeah, it turns out the superhero one was one that they thought had longer legs. I could see Hancock 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm
5,
surprised they didn't go there and run with it.
I don't think it made as much money as they hoped it would.
That's true.
And poor Jason. Right then, that was when Jason Bateman couldn't catch a fucking break.
Yeah.
Every big movie he was in, it was like, not so good. Go back to your Arrested Development show. Go be cute on that show.
It was a decent.
It was fine. There was the
alcoholic superhero who couldn't remember anything. They gave themselves grounds to create a lot of stuff, and no.
Now I remember I bought when Circuit City was closing down. I bought that movie for $2.
No, there you go.
I have it on DVD.
Worth every penny.
It was worth it.
And the only reason I know is because Vince Gilligan, he was talking about
Was he embarrassed by it?
No, he was talking about how when he got the script, it was originally about 2 angels that came to Earth or something.
And he's like, nope, too religious.
Yeah, and he had a hand in making it into a superhero movie.
Oh, good for him. See, he knows what he's doing. He's Vince Gilligan. He's not dumb.
He's not dumb.
He's no dummy.
Basically, he turned it into Assassin's Creed, the concept.
The
of
not
Minerva.
bad one?
Yeah, like Minerva and all of those people, but instead of
Sam.
infecting the internet, they're just actual people.
Sam, I have an important question to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Did you watch that Assassin's Creed movie?
I avoided that like the plague.
Then how do you know the plot?
I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the game.
Oh, okay.
The series.
I just want to check.
Yeah, no.
Did you
I'm a
in
nerd, I'm not
your
an idiot.
in your fandom of Assassin's Creed? Because I know friend of the show Lamar Harris. I think he subjected himself
Yeah.
to the movie. because he doesn't know any better.
I did not.
He's a
see
young
Batman
man.
versus Superman. I didn't see.
Well, we watch Batman vs Superman, but we're fucking sadists.
Yeah, no,
We're comic book sadists. We do things for the sake of humanity.
I'm a nerd. I am not an idiot. I am not going to subject myself to bullshit.
I mean, realistically, all the shit we talk, I'm kind of looking forward to Justice League.
I mean, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
No, of this there is no doubt.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch Justice League.
Did you read that report about how when Zack Snyder left the movie, I guess there's one guy he has to edit all his movies, edited the footage he had, and they showed it to Warner Bros. Executives. Mm-hmm. And then there was a quote saying that the executive said, like, this movie is unwatchable.
Huh.
That's why they brought Josh Whedon.
Then they could have just put the guy, his assistant, to fix it. Like,
So, yeah.
Hey, man, we might have an okay Justice League movie.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll see what
They
happens.
did give him $150 million to fix it, so, I mean...
A lot of kitties. So many kitties. So, as always, you know, the Dre's Geek Philosophy Network has expanded to not just be here on Monday nights. We're here 3 nights a week. Monday nights, we're here doing our traditional show. We're back to normal. Wednesday nights, we have Pete's show, where I'm Pete's sidekick on that show. We have the Multiverse Comic Show. Saturday nights, it's Dre versus Super Nintendo. You want to watch me struggle playing old games that young me mastered, that old me can no longer apparently do anymore? Saturday nights, Dre versus Super Nintendo. Come by and check that out as well. We have executive producer behind me, Sam Zia, at SamZ570. We have Pete Milley at Nostalgic_Comics.
Hey.
Yeah! That's right.
He got it right?
I got it right.
Oh my god!
I got it right. I'm on my game, son. I'm on drugs. I'm on cold medicine, so I could do this tonight.
You need to suppress that cough.
You can follow me on Twitter at DreGP Podcast. I'm trying to tweet more. But you can also follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm a little bit more active, at SoCal Cologne. So, for my boys, I am Dre Cervantes. We're back. We're back. We're doing the shit. We're doing the thing. NyQuil is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is. I had some insane dreams on NyQuil. Yeah, I did. So, for Sam Zia, for Pete Malini, I am Dre Cervantes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Be sure to share this with your friends. Let people know that I'm insane. And they can watch me be insane. They can watch Sam Zia do the suck it to the back of my head on Facebook Live. If you're so inclined. Facebook.com/DreGB Podcast. If you want to see all three of us be jackasses, you can go to Twitch.tv/DreGB Podcast, where that will be up there where you can see all of us in the studio. We're all waving in the camera right now up there. You guys have a good night. We're going to have a good night as well. Peace. We love you all. Have a good night. Boop.